Welcome to this free lecture brought to you from my ZBrush Anatomy Complete Guide to Creating Realistic Anatomy in ZBrush. If you're interested in this course, then please find out more at the end of this lecture. Welcome to this anatomy course for ZBrush. This is a comprehensive course. We will teach you the main anatomical points in order to improve your digital sculpting in ZBrush. We start gradually and we will, over the course of 2020, get more complex. This enables you to grow and achieve results faster. So in this course, what I've done is the course has started and we have quite a few sections which I'll go into later, and I just want to show you what each section is going to kind of include. Now at the end of this little lecture, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep adding to the course over all of 2020, getting more and more complex with features, as I will explain later. So the first thing that we're going to look at in this course is getting set up with ZBrush Basics. I also have a free course that you can use if you're an absolute beginner. So what we're going to look at is the main parts, and we're sculpting those. So I'm going to start with the ear. We're going to then move on to the anatomy of the nose, all with guides as we work through the lips and the eyes. So this course is going to cover all of those things with workspace and asset files as you create. So this is section 1, just to get you in the flow of it and get straight into the sculpting rather than actually blast your brains with a load of anatomy terms that we will be discussing via guides and sheets that I've put together for you guys to download during the course. We will also be looking at the planes of the head as well. So we're going to basically start with the head and then move on to the body. So this is another section that will look at planes and creating planes and the shapes for the actual head. So we're starting nice and slowly and we're building on each lecture. It's really important that you do the exercises and that you follow the course from the beginning right the way through as I get more complex. We will also be looking at creating base meshes for the head for us to be able to sculpt on top of and start to refining our details. This is another section that takes us slowly into the next section. We will then be looking at the anatomy of the body, of the skeleton and the muscle groups, and I have 3D reference turntables for you to have a look at as well, such as these. So you can turn around and you can check via the head all of the anatomical parts. This file is supplied for you to open in your browser and be able to interactively turn around the model and view different views to help you with your anatomical skills and ZBrush sculpting. As well as these views and turntables, I do also supply you with guides and sheets for the muscle groups and skeletal groups as well. Here is an example of one of the sheets that I put together for this particular part of the section. Now this file that you download is actually a high-res image, so you could actually print this out and put it on your wall to use as a guide as you're working, or you can keep it and open it in your desktop if you need to. This gives you all the proportions as well as all of the main bones and the main muscles that we're looking at when we're doing ZBrush sculpting. Another section is to actually start to build up actual sculpts. So with this particular one, we started with female and then we did a male version of this as well. So let me just show you that. And there we have the male version. Then I'm going to be explaining the importance of starting with low resolution and starting to build details into our mesh to get a final result. At this stage, we're not covering any of the detailing, such as laying down alphas, skin, wrinkle, pores, etc. We are purely looking at the form of the model, and we'll be looking at tips and hints on how to use perspective and the sliders inside of ZBrush as well. The The next thing we will do is we'll create a younger version of the female, working our way through different stages, finally getting to the result that we need with our final female sculpt there. So again, we're looking at males and we're looking at females in this course. Nothing is left to chance. I'm covering everything, and we start very simply and we build our way through. So beginners, intermediate, advanced users can take this course, and you can build yourself through as we work over the course of 2020. We'll also be looking at proportions for the body and be doing a Canon guide so you can see particular scales on a model. In this part of the course, I will again be supplying a 3D turnable model that you can view the model in different views. There will be two of these. I'm doing one here, and we've got another turntable that we're going to be looking at as well. This is an actual scan from the scan store, and this should help you interactively be able to look at different muscle groups and the shape and form of the female. During this section of the course, we'll also be looking at the bony landmarks. These are parts of the bone that actually are visible on the skin surface. So we'll be checking those out. I've given you a high-res image there to be able to look at and assess where those bony landmarks are, all with the anatomical terms of those. In this same section, we'll also be looking at the main muscle groups of the body. In this case I have a female, but there is no real difference between male and female as far as the muscles are concerned, just the hip placements and some of the bone placements and the overall shape and form. Again, I'll be covering all of this. There are extra guides and images to help you with some of this stuff as well. These are all supplied so that you can see some of the joints and how they work and operate inside the human body. We will also be looking at gesture and form inside of human anatomy. Then we're going to go and move on to actually base mesh creation for the body, and I'll be showing you quite a few different methods to do this. One will be using Z-spheres, like this image here, and from this we created this here. We'll also be looking at how we can use Dynamesh and create a base mesh. So straight from a sphere, dragging it out. I'll also be demonstrating other methods for creating the base mesh, such as using mannequins. In this lecture, where I'm using modular forms, I'll be using the style or the techniques of Raf Grassetti. He uses this modular style in order to map in all of his points, and then it can be put together and the form can be created from that. Final result from this looks like this. So using that modular form, this is what we will be creating, this female here. This is one method that we're going to show. I'm going to show a lot of different methods for creating the body base, including a method by Madeline Scott Spencer, where we'll actually be creating a male sculpt. This is the end result of that section. Also, along the way, I'm going to be showing you how to create custom brushes. So this brush we're going to create a slice brush. This has got a steep curve and then a soft curve outwards. We're going to create a valley brush that fills in valleys using clay tube, and we're going to be creating a gravity brush as well. Now, further to this, there will be quite a few different brush sections where I'll be building on the last. So we have one here. This is the first one we create, which is kind of a sloping Damien standard cutting brush, really good for wrinkles. And also there's going to be a vector displacement brush for creating things like the belly button. Again, we'll be building these and building these brushes up before we go into the detailing section of the courses. Lastly, what we'll be covering is my technique for doing a female. So not Raf Grassetti's or Madeline Scott Spencer's, but a kind of hybrid between the two that I tend to find works best for me. Now at the moment, all we're doing is focusing our attention on creating a Dynamesh version with no details. And we will be moving on to actually creating pores, wrinkles using HD geometry, and obviously texturing and setting maps up and UV laying out. And I'll be adding sections as we move through. Now, the last section I've got in the course at present, at this time, it might change. There might be more in there when you visit next. But I have a sculpt of Henry Cavill, which is not finished. It's at stage 1. But this will show you the basic principles of doing a likeness sculpt. And you can use those to develop your own skills using the techniques that I've already taught you. So this course is an evergreen course over the whole of 2020. And I will be adding loads more sections. So to just demonstrate to you what's going to be coming up in the course is my sculpting process, basically male complete with head, my sculpting process for female complete with head, male to female conversion. We're going to look into refinements then, doing UV layouts and actually applying and creating alphas for things like wrinkles and pores, etc. So the next things I want to do for future sections, again in 2020, will be retopologizing, UVs in detail, layer control and morphing, skin detail alphas, brush packs. We've created all of these from scratch. Detail and HD detailed skin wrinkles, pores and textures. Texture and maps, sculpted hair, fiber mesh hair, rendering and map generation. So we have a lot of stuff to cover. Also, I'll be inserting other projects that I'm working on doing inside of the section. So this course will be very fluid. There will be pieces put in there. There'll also be a workshop section where I'll be adding videos, help videos for people, because I have an extensive community board within the course, and I also have a bespoke Facebook group where you can post. I need you to post your images so I can critique it as well. I want to be able to critique it and other students critique other people's work as well moving forwards, because we're going to have all sorts of different people, absolute beginners to advanced users. Obviously the advanced users with all their knowledge are going to put their input into it as well. So this is really good. It's a great thing. It's going to develop. I'm sure I'm going to develop while I'm doing this course as well, because I'm going to spend a hell of a lot of time inside doing human anatomy, and things are going to get better and better as we move on through the course. So I can teach you what I know, and if you like these course images, make sure you visit the page, have a look at the images, make sure that you're happy with the course, and that's the sort of thing that you want to move on to. It's very extensive, this course, and it is really, you know, starting from the ground up. And I'm trying not to overwhelm you with too many anatomical terms, because I find that jades you. We'll be working extensively from reference images. You can build your own anatomical library up in your brain if you feel you need to. So let's move on. I've structured this course to try and get you from sort of 0 to hero in the shortest amount of time possible. I'd love to see your work before you started the course, and I'd like to see your work as you progress through the course to see that you are on the right track and that you're not making the same mistake over and over again. So anyone interested in doing characters inside ZBrush, or generally learning how to sculpt properly, then this is the course for you. And even if you're not interested in doing character design, it's really a good course because it teaches you techniques. If you can do this, you can do anything. Okay, so hope you enjoy the course. Take the course, and I'll see you in the groups. To find out more about this ZBrush anatomy course, please visit courses.mojomojo.design. During this course, I'm going to cover a ton of stuff on ZBrush anatomy. So just please go to the webpage and have a look what's been done so far. Now, as a word of caution, this course is for 18s and above, as there is nudity featured. Although mild, is still nudity. This is because this is a professional artist course. You can see some of the images that we've created so far during the course, and over the course of 2020 I will be adding more and more lectures and sections, as well as help videos as we go through. Find out more about the roadmap on this course, please visit the page and look at the course roadmap. You can also see the course curriculum and what's been done so far, with free previews for you to just check out the course and see if you like my teaching style. All assets are supplied, alphas, brush packs, everything is supplied inside the course, making it great value for money, as well as guides, high-res guides that you could print out and put on the wall as a reference. I also include 3D turntables of models so you can interactively look at the models as you're working, as well as offer suggestions on places to find good reference. So have a look through the syllabus, and this is what has been completed so far. So there's quite a lot, and I'm going to be adding tons more later on. As you can see, the sections are set up ready for me to drop the videos in when I've finished them. So this course is going to be added to over the whole of 2020, maybe beyond. My intention is to make this the biggest course on the internet, online course for ZBrush anatomy.